Our lives are a series of new normals. What's normal yesterday is not what's normal today. What's normal today is not what's going to be normal tomorrow, or a week from now, a month from now, or 5 to 10 years from now. And our challenge is really to navigate those new normals, accept them for what they are, embrace them with open arms, and honor them for what they come to teach us. You know, growing up, I had a mother who was very involved. She would wipe every running nose and rub every hurt belly, every stomach ache. She would make every Halloween costume by hand. She was the class mother, she was the Girl Scout leader, she was there all the time. It was great. And as I grew up, she was still there. I went off to college and she would call and say, "Melissa, it's going to be cold, make sure you put warm socks on." And then after I graduated, she was still involved. I remember out shopping with her one day, and someone came over and said, "Oh, I've heard you've graduated. What are you doing now?" And my mother proudly walked over and said, "Oh, Melissa's an actuary." And I thought, she's always taking care of me, and she's even speaking for me. When am I going to be able to speak for myself? You know, it was great. I knew she was there, and that's what was normal for me, but I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to change, and so I spoke to her about it, and she was a little bit taken back, but she understood it was time to grow up, and eventually I moved out of the house, and she would still say, "Call me when you get home, I want to make sure you're safe," and I did. And it was great. It was great having somebody care so much about you. And then one day it all changed. What I knew was normal no longer was. There was a new normal coming in. And I was the one that was going to have to take care of her. It was a December night. I'll never forget it. It was really, really cold and frigid outside. It was December 30th to be exact. And we had to rush my mother, me and my sister, to the hospital. She wasn't feeling well. She was slurring her speech. She was kind of hunched over and she couldn't keep her head up. We got her to the emergency room and they ran a bunch of blood work and they found out that her organs had started shutting down and she had a massive infection that was spreading very fast. So they rushed her into surgery. They had said if they had done nothing, she'd die in a couple of hours. So 6 hours later, the surgeon came out and he said he did all he could do and it was just time. We had to see what was going to heal and how she was going to be, and it was up to her body and God to correct what had gone wrong. So as hours gone by and days went by, we sat by her side, being the ones, to care for her now, knowing that this was the way it was going to be. It was going to be different. It was going to be a new normal for me and my sister. We were the ones that were going to speak for her and ask the questions and wipe her nose and change her diaper. Gosh, we navigated through it little by little every day. We answered phone calls for her, we paid her bills, we tried to keep things going, and we sat by her side, we made sure she was getting the right medications, we asked all the right questions, and slowly we started to accept our new role and take charge. And we went in there every day to the hospital with gratitude for being able to be there for her and advocate for her. And we would bring food in for the nurses and say thank you for taking such good care of her. And we started to embrace our new role. We kept a journal to write down her temperature every day and what was happening. We hung pictures in the room of what she looked like when she was healthy so that people would understand she was our mom and she was independent and she was beautiful. Not the way she looked at that moment with long gray hair and very drawn, long nails, very unkept, very sick, very weak, very thin, very fragile. We would decorate for every holiday in the hospital room for Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and her birthday and, holiday after holiday that would go by, and she was there healing and slowly getting better with some setbacks, but inching her way back to health. And then we realized, my gosh, what an honor it was to be the ones to be able to help her and be there for her and care for her and spend quality time together by her bedside that we would not have had she not gotten sick. And what an honor to be chosen as the daughters to take care of her, to be the ones to be there and make sure that she was in good spirits every day. And that's a very important part of healing as well. And I'll never forget, it was about 7 months into it. She was well enough to sit up in a wheelchair, and I was able to take her outside for the first time in 7 months. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny, and the birds were singing, and flowers were everywhere. It was colorful and vibrant. And I rolled her out, her fragile little body, with this huge smile that came upon her face. So excited to feel the fresh air, so excited to be outside again, so excited to start getting back to her normal. But me in my role, knowing that this was going to be new normal for me, this is my role now, to worry about her, to take care of her, to speak up for her, to kind of switch places in a way. So next time you feel that your life's been turned upside down and what you know as normal is not going to be normal anymore, and a new normal is coming into your life, take a careful look at that new normal. See what it's here to teach you. See what you're supposed to learn. And really embrace that gift that you've been given with this new normal.